what does it mean to be a heterozygote? Well, hetero means different. So if you're a heterozygote, it means that you have two different alleles on a pair of chromosomes. So maybe this allele says, referring to our flowers and so on with Mendel, that the individual is going to produce green peas, but this allele says, no, you're going to produce yellow peas. So that means that in our ratio here, or in our setup here, we need to think about these as being phenotypes, but we also need to think about what the genotype is going to be. So when we write these, we actually write yellow as being dominant. We've mentioned that before. So we write it as a big Y. Green then is its partner, so it would be a little y. Why a little y? Because this indicates to us that this is the recessive trait, while yellow is the dominant trait. So we use capital letters to indicate dominance versus recessiveness. In our cross that we want to set up, if we would actually cross our heterozygotes, so this would mean this chromosome is a big Y and this chromosome is a little y. Why is that? Big Y is yellow, little y is green, and we said we are a heterozygote for this trait, meaning two different alleles. So if you want to cross a big Y, little y individual with a big Y, little y individual, what would we get? Well, we actually have to split these. Okay? We set up something that looks like tic-tac-toe board, kind of. We say, all right, this individual is going to go here. Big Y, little y. This individual is going to go here. Big Y, little y. Does it matter? No. This individual could go here. It doesn't matter. You just need to keep the individuals together on one side, and you need to separate their alleles because you're making gametes. These are now gametes. So you can think about these as being eggs and sperm. So when we recombine those to make children, we do this like an old multiplication table. Most of you grew up with calculators, so you may not remember your multiplication tables. But if you do, what we do is we bring these two together and say, all right, that's going to be a big Y, big Y. This goes here, this goes here. Big Y, little y. This goes here, this goes here. Big Y, little y. This goes here, this goes here. Little y, little y. So what we've just done is created the next generation. We've taken the P generation and we've crossed it to produce the F1 generation, or the kids. Now, here we have different genotypes, right? We've got a big Y, big Y. We've got a big Y, little y, another big Y, little y, and a little y, little y. Those are the genotypes. You're talking about alleles. But if we actually look at this as far as phenotype, what are these individuals going to look like? We said if you are big Y and showing big Y, you're going to be yellow, right? So these are going to be yellow, these are going to be yellow, and these are going to be yellow. What's this one going to be? Green, right? So you are getting 3 yellow and 1 green. Make sense to you? We'll look at more of these as we go through, but I want you to think about what this actually means for our individuals. So we are getting 3 yellow and 1 green as we predicted. Here it is in nice color for you. That genotype, though, actually looking at what's going on with the alleles themselves, is not 3 to 1, right? We have a big Y, big Y, big Y, little y, another big Y, little y. So we have two of those, one of those, and one little y, little y. So this color is phenotype. What's this? Right, genotype. So we see a 1 to 2 to 1 genotype ratio. This is a law in genetics. If you do a heterozygous monohybrid cross, you will always get a 3 to 1 phenotype and a 1 to 2 to 1 genotype ratio. It cannot be anything else. You can combine all of the capital and small letters on the planet, and you will never get anything different. 3 to 1 phenotype, 1 to 2 to 1 genotype for every single heterozygous monohybrid cross. Guaranteed. So if you actually look at it in chromosome form, if we take away all of the round seeds and so on, you get something that could look like this, showing you those alleles I was indicating before. The homozygous dominant trait says you're inheriting a big Y with yellow. This one says big Y, little y. Remember? Little y for our green, big Y for our yellow. Okay. This is a heterozygous. We just looked at those. A homozygous recessive means that you're actually inheriting two little y's. We saw all of these genotypes in our cross that we just did. So what we have to figure out is what that actually means. I give you some definitions here in case you want to go back and look at them. But homozygous means you're inheriting the same allele. Heterozygous says you're inheriting a different allele. Now, you're inheriting one from mom and one from dad. You could get the same alleles from mom and dad, or you could get different alleles from mom and dad. We're going to look at this a lot more when we talk genetics and think about mouse fur colors and other characteristics to help us understand more. But as we're focusing right now on our P's, we think about these three different genotypes that we have. One different one, 2, 3, right? We get two of those, and we got this 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. These are counts. Okay. But the phenotype that we got was only two different phenotypes.